Every postseason, there'll always be a clutch player who'll step up and knock down big-time shots. Some of the most well-known average players includes Robert Horry and Derek Fisher. Never the first or second option on their team, but always relied upon when needed, hitting multiple game-winning shots over the course of their careers. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the 2020 NBA season resuming, let's take a look at 10 of the most surprising NBA playoff stars over the last 10 seasons. Starting off with Mike Miller, 2012, who's still destroying college kids in pickup games at age 40. The 6'8" small forward was way past his prime with the Miami Heat. Averaged just 20 minutes, 6.1 points in the regular season. Wasn't much of a factor in the postseason, up until the series clincher in the finals. His highest scoring before that, a dozen points against the Pacers Game 6 of the semis, but absolutely lit it up in Game 5, giving OKC no hope. Looked like Memphis Grizzlies Mike Miller out there. Every shot was a dagger to the Thunder's heart. Went 7 of 8 from behind the arc, 23 points off the bench. Did so playing with a bad back. After logging less than 22 minutes combined the first 4 games, Miller had no business performing at a high level. Outscored everyone on OKC besides Durant, reminded the world what he was capable of. Heat fans will forever cherish Miller for his Game 5 performance. Nate Robinson, 2013, filling in for the injured Derrick Rose. The Bulls signed Robinson to a 1-year deal worth over $1.1 million. The best bargain at the time, needed some scoring power. The 5'9" athletic phenom played the best basketball of his career in the postseason. Underdog against the Nets, not having home court advantage, Nate was relentless. The game of his life, Game 4, simply refused to let his Bulls lose, took over down the stretch. It appeared the series was going to be tied 2-2, down double digits in the final 3 minutes of regulation. A Jordan-esque performance, scored 23 of his 34 points in the fourth quarter, one shy of Jordan's franchise playoff record for most points in a quarter. Unstoppable and unguardable. The fact that he was signed as a replacement for John Lucas III and won the franchise a playoff series doesn't get talked about enough. Robinson even outplayed peak LeBron for one game, helping the Bulls win Game 1 against the 66-win Heat, 27 points, 9 assists. His team simply didn't have enough and weren't supposed to even advance past the first round. Robinson dropped 21 in his final game with the franchise, averaged 16.3 points, 4.5 assists in 12 postseason games with Chicago. Boris Diaw, 2014, Pop brought the best out of the 32-year-old power forward who picked up weight since his Suns days, vital to San Antonio's ball movement and offense for an aging team, made his presence felt in Game 4 of the very first round against Dallas, 17 big points off the bench in 28 minutes. In the series where the Spurs were down 2-1, the franchise might not have beaten Dallas without him, and certainly would not have beaten OKC in the conference finals without the help of the Frenchman. After a disastrous 4.1 point average in the 2013 playoffs, Diaw went off for 26 big points in Game 6. Every time OKC got close, it appeared the old Spurs were gonna run out of energy, but Boris's offense, pairing him with Tim Duncan, the biggest difference maker, continued to dominate in the finals without scoring much, made the perfect passes, always aware of where his teammates were at all times, a master on the block, averaged the most assists in those finals, 6.2 points, 8.5 rebounds, almost 6 times, a plus 79 for the series. Looked like the French Magic Johnson out there. He might have looked out of shape, but his basketball IQ that postseason, second to none. Josh Smith, 2015, the only reason he still remains relevant in 2020, the Pistons finally stopped paying him. Going way back, Smith was picked up by the Rockets in December 2014 after being waived and needed him most in Game 6 of the 2015 semis. The Rockets were getting annihilated, destroyed, humiliated, and abused. Fell behind 3-1 to the Clippers, down 19 in the second half of Game 6 on the road. The near impossible happened. Smith, known as a terrible shooter for all his career, with declining athleticism and an inefficient chucker with James Harden on the bench, exploded out of nowhere, 14 points in the fourth, going 3 of 4 from 3, uncharted territory for the 6'9" power forward. Houston outscored LA 40-15 the final 12 minutes to force a Game 7. Harden and Dwight Howard didn't even make a single basket in the fourth. Smith and Corey Brewer were the stars of the comeback, saved Houston's season, and derailed Lob City's best chance to make it out of the second round. If it wasn't for Smith going bananas, the Clippers might have won the 2015 title. Over the final 7 games of those playoffs, Smith averaged 15.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. Matthew Dellavedova, 2015. With the injuries to Kyrie Irving, Delly made a reputation for his hustle plays and high energy. Not very talented, talented, but was diving for every loose ball like he was playing rugby out there. Took out Kyle Korver's ankles, got Al Horford ejected. Labeled as the Steph Curry stopper, his aggressive style forced Steph to shoot 5 of 23 in Game 2 of the finals, maintain a critical position in overtime to help his team seal Game 2, had the game of his life in Game 3, scored 20 points of his own, needed an IV at the Cleveland Clinic after the game. With the injuries on the roster, Cleveland had no business being up 2-1 against Golden State. Even with LeBron's dominance, James would not have won 2 games without Delly. His effort helped him earn a 4-year, $38 million deal with the Bucks summer 2016. Bismack Biyombo 2016, the only time he was ever relevant in the NBA. The 7th pick in the 2011 draft, nothing more than a role player, went off for 17 points, 16 rebounds in Game 7 against Miami, played 41 minutes. After going down 2-0 to the Cavs in the conference finals, Biyombo was a terror on the glass in Game 3. A surprising Raptors blowout win, grabbed 26 rebounds along with 4 block shots, 7 points, tied for the most boards in a single playoff game within the previous 32 years, tied with Dwight and Hakeem, kept many possessions alive for his team, out-hustled everybody else, followed up with 14 big rebounds in Game 4. The last time the Raptors beat LeBron in a postseason game. Biyombo wasn't much of a factor the following 2 games, but already made his presence felt. A few months later, the Orlando Magic offered him a whooping 4-year $70 million contract. An absolute tragic decision for the franchise. Made little to no impact, will be a free agent after the 2020 season. Still 27 years old, Biyombo will have made over $83 million for his career thanks to a couple excellent rebounding games. Terry Rozier 2018. Scary Terry absolutely owned and destroyed Eric Bledsoe in the first round of the Bucks-Celtics matchup, disrespectfully called him Drew Bledsoe. If it wasn't for Chris Middleton's insane prayer to send Game 1 to overtime, Rozier's nasty step back would have been one of the best game winners we've seen. Dropped 23 each of the first 2 games, went off for 26 in Game 7, averaged 17.6 points for the series, winning the point guard matchup, continued to put in work, destroying Philly in the semis in Game 1, followed by 20 and 9 dimes in Game 2. The game Ben Simmons was held to 1 point, played a couple good games against Cleveland, but was awful in Game 7 of the conference finals. Rozier did average 16.5 points over 5 and 5 in replacement of Kyrie Irving. Nobody gave the C's a chance. Rozier made the best of the roster situation and shown flashes of a potential all-star. Nikola Mirotić 2018. After the injury to DeMarcus Cousins, New Orleans' promising season seemed to have come to an end. The 6'10" power forward was stuck on a dysfunctional Bulls team after getting punched in the face by Bobby Portis. Mirotić got his wish, getting traded to a better team for a couple old players plus a first, a total game changer for the Pelicans, averaged 14.6 points, over 8 rebounds. The final 30 games of the season, the team's record was better off with Mirotić than Cousins. Gave the Blazers a taste of their own medicine in the first round, the 3rd leading scorer for his team that postseason, led by AD and Drew Holiday. Mirotić averaged 18.3 points in the first round, 9.5 rebounds, shot over 57%, 46 from 3, 2.5 blocks, almost 2 steals. The most impactful stretch of his NBA career after scoring 16 and 17 points each of the first 2 on the road. The power forward went off for 30 points in Game 3, 12 of 15 shooting, absolutely red hot, helped AD advance past the first round for the first time. Mirotić also had an 18 and 16 point game against the heavy favored Warriors, falling in 5, making up for all his disappointment with the Bulls. Joe Ingles 2018. The 30-year-old was the difference maker in the first round against OKC. Utah didn't have home court advantage and wasn't given much of a chance. The Australian was fearless, talked smack to Paul George, and frustrated the Thunder. 2 dominating performances at home, 21 points in Game 3, followed by 20 in Game 4. A man on a mission, backed up his talking with his shot making. Carried the momentum for his team, got the fans amped up. OKC was out of sync, helped Utah win the series in 6, outplayed Carmelo Anthony. Despite falling to the 65-win Rockets in the semis, Ingles dropped 27 in the second game of that series, 10 of 13 shooting in Utah's only win, averaged almost 15 points on 47% shooting for those playoffs. Fred VanVleet 2019. Undrafted out of Wichita State, nobody expected Toronto to win the title, let alone come out of the East. The backup was having an awful postseason, a non-factor the first 2 rounds before his son Fred Jr. was born. VanVleet was averaging only 4 points, under 26% shooting, under 20 from 3. The first 15 postseason games couldn't hit anything, but after his child was born May 20th, everything shifted. down 2-1 to the Bucks. Van Vleet averaged 14.7 points on 51% shooting the final 9 games, hit 7 big threes to steal Game 5 against Milwaukee on the road, 5 triples in Game 1 against Golden State, continued to dominate on the road, saved his best for last, 22 points in the finals clincher, even received the finals MVP vote. Did a tremendous job on Steph Curry, holding him to 1 of 6 when guarding him in Game 1, also shot like Steph Curry, continued to get better. Toronto would likely not have beaten Golden State without the 6-foot backup. Honorable mentions includes Jason Terry 2011 playoffs, not much of a surprise since Terry can absolutely light it up, will be most remembered for outscoring LeBron James in the 2011 finals, Andre Iguodala winning finals MVP in 2015, Al-Farouq Aminu averaged 14.6 points in the 2016 playoffs, Kelly Olynyk with a 26-point Game 7 performance over Washington in 2017, rookie Jason Tatum going off in his first ever playoff run, and Myers Leonard 30 points his final game with the Blazers, his only great game in the 2019 postseason. Which one of these players had the most surprising playoff breakout over the last 10 postseasons? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content. I love all of you. See you next time.